Hey, welcome to EPN. My name is Victor Lucas, and we bring you the latest in everything cool every single day from right here in our space at the VFS Cafe, which is in downtown Vancouver at 390 West Hastings, where we regularly make EP Live, which is a live show that we shoot in front of an audience, so you can come down and be a part of that, or of course you can watch it right here on our stream. Our new time for the show is 4:30 p.m. Pacific and 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we shoot typically Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, although I'm off on a holiday tomorrow, so we won't be having one tomorrow. But please do make an effort to come down if you live in the Vancouver area. We'd love to have you here, and we always have a good time with EP Live. Today, we've got a rundown to get to, and it goes out to Frostbite, who's having a birthday today. Happy birthday. We got you this rundown. So a brand new Avengers trailer has hit the internet today. I haven't seen it yet, so what we're going to do is watch it together, and I'll give you guys my thoughts on this, okay? Let's do this. Got to do it on the TV, though.
God, seems like 1,000 years ago.
Nice.
I fought my way out of that cave.
Good callback.
Became Iron Man.
I can't believe we were interviewing Robert
Realized
Downey
I loved
Jr.
you.
when he was building this.
I know I said no more surprises, but I was really hoping to pull off one last one.
That's awesome.
The world has changed.
Oh, man.
None of us can go back.
I'm getting emotional.
All we can do is our best. And sometimes the best that we can do is to start over.
I saw all these people die.
Spoiler alert if you haven't seen
I keep
Infinity
telling
War.
everybody they should move on.
Wow.
Some do, but not us.
Even if there's a small chance, we owe this to everyone who's not in this room to try.
How would you go on when half the population is gone?
We will.
Cool
Whatever it
haircut,
takes.
Jeremy Renner.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Super cool.
Whatever it takes.
Okay. Oh my God. And there's Captain Marvel.
I like this one.
You know, I didn't even really want to look at anything to do with Avengers Endgame. I just want to go and see this movie with as little information as possible, but thankfully that trailer doesn't give away too much at all. What it does do, though, is it puts a big spotlight on Ant-Man. He wasn't a part of Infinity War, and they explained all that in Ant-Man and the Wasp, but he seems to be a much bigger part of this movie. I think they're wearing some kind of quantum-enabled suits at the end, those red and white suits out there, or quantum field enabled suits or something, very much tying into a lot of the story from Ant-Man and the Wasp. It's amazing how threaded all of this stuff has to be. It must drive the writers insane, sort of keeping tabs on where everybody is. But I guess it's not much different from writing the comic books on a monthly basis as well. The movie looks incredible. I can't believe the star power in there. The poster is insane as well. I just caught that today, and it felt like an 80s movie looking at that poster. Interesting part of that poster is that we don't see the names of any of the other heroes and actors that we presume will make a reappearance in Avengers Endgame. Can't wait for that movie. Can't believe it's only a month away.
I like this one.
Now, 4 months after deployment, Battlefield 5 is finally going to drop its Battle Royale mode. EA and DICE have announced that Firestorm, the highly anticipated Battle Royale mode for their World War II shooter, will launch March 25th on all platforms. As with other Battle Royale games like Fortnite and Battlegrounds, players will parachute into a massive map and then fight to the death until only one player or squad is left standing. Although unlike those other games, Firestorm will only start with 64 players and not 100. The biggest selling point is that there will be loads of different vehicles, just like the existing Battlefield games, and there will also be unique conquest-style objectives scattered throughout the map, which give you rewards like better weapons, gear, and vehicles. When it was first announced, Firestorm was meant to be EA's first big entry into the Battle Royale genre, but since then they've already released another game, Respawn Entertainment's Apex Legends, which has already become an unexpectedly massive hit. EA and their shareholders are hoping for the same success with Firestorm. It's being developed by Battlefield creator DICE along with another EA studio, Burnout developer Criterion Games. Yeah, it's going to get very, very crowded in this Battle Royale, playing field out there. These are incredible and impeccable developers, and they've done some extraordinary work together already. So I'm expecting big things out of Firestorm, but I think that might be one of the major challenges that Firestorm has, is that we are expecting something fresh and huge and new, and it has to come up against all of these more established challengers. And frankly, the audience share that all of those other games already have is going to be a really hard pull for this brand new mode to kind of bring people over. But if the gameplay deserves it, I think people will flock to it. I can't wait to jump back in. With so many Battle Royale games out these days, sometimes it's good to take a break, and that also goes for the person that helped to invent the genre. Game designer Greene, better known as PlayerUnknown of Battlegrounds fame, has announced that he's leaving the day-to-day development of the game. He's not leaving PUBG Corp or their parent company Bluehole altogether. He's instead forming a new development studio within the company that will focus on researching and developing new technologies, game-making tools, and new ways to interact with online players, all of which could potentially be used down the road in PUBG or future games. This won't be his first time experimenting. PUBG started life when Greene began making mods for the zombie games DayZ and H1Z1, inspired by the films like The Hunger Games and the Japanese cult classic Battle Royale. They caught the attention of Korean developer Bluehole, which hired him to oversee the creation of a standalone Battle Royale project, which eventually became Battlegrounds. As he oversees the new development team, Greene promises that he'll still serve as a consultant on new Battlegrounds content. I think this is what it's all about, right? You got to reinvent yourself, and you have to kind of take your past successes and learn from them and then integrate them into new technologies and new ways of thinking. And you can only do that by pulling back. I mean, one of the things that I encounter again and again as I interview game developers is they're so focused on the stuff that's on their screen that they don't really have time to kind of have a bird's eye. They don't have time to play other stuff, quite frankly. And the only way that you can do that is to achieve a measure of success where you can start to pull back and you kind of look at the whole act of game making from a different, more meta perspective. And that looks like what Greene's about to do, and that's what PUBG has allowed him to do. So hopefully this leads to some really, really cool game design. And before we move on from Battle Royale, we have a quick update. Yesterday, we reported that the latest patch for Fortnite removes cross-platform multiplayer on the Nintendo Switch. This isn't exactly the case. The latest patch simply removes Switch players from the same matchmaking pool as the Xbox One and PS4, but users on those platforms can still manually invite their Switch friends. This means Switch users won't automatically be in the same game as players on the other consoles, but friends on different consoles who really want to play together will still be able to. Epic Games did this after Switch users complained about being at an unfair disadvantage when they go up against Xbox One and PS4 players, given the high frame rate available on those other systems. So hopefully this change will make everyone happy. And thank you to all those that sent us a shout out in the comments to let us know what the real deal was with this story. Appreciate that. And one game that probably won't be getting a Battle Royale mode is the hit roguelike game Dead Cells. Developer Motion Twin has announced that the game's first big expansion, Rise of the Giant, will hit the PC on March 28th, with a console launch following at a later date. Rise of the Giant gives players new levels, complete with 2 new bosses and 10 smaller enemies, along with new weapons and skills and more than 50 new skins. Best of all, the DLC is free for all players. The development team says they're making this as a way to thank fans for their support, although be warned, they say the new levels will be very difficult and are aimed at high-level players who have already mastered the main game. So I think they're making this just for you, Jose. This is an incredible game. Dead Cells is amazing, and this is a game that has benefited so much from the community being a part of its development. It launched in early access, and so much incredible feedback came back to the developers. They listened, they tweaked, they improved, and they've released fantastic ports for it. It's one of my favorite games on my Switch, but I'm excited that more is coming, and I'm excited for the inevitable Dead Cells 2, which I'm just going to flatly just announce right here, even though it's pure speculation. Gamers can expect some more big things from the makers of the ultra-violent ninja game Shadow Warrior. Polish developer Flying Wild Hog, which created the 2013 reboot of the Shadow Warrior series as well as its 2016 sequel, has a new owner. The studio has been bought by Supernova Capital, a new private equity firm created by game maker Paul Wedgwood, formerly the head of British developer Splash Damage. Wedgwood boasts about turning Splash Damage around from the brink of bankruptcy into one of the best studios in the world, working on AAA franchises like Doom and Gears of War, and now under Supernova Capital, he hopes to do the same thing with Flying Wild Hog. They plan to expand Flying Wild Hog's game portfolio and turn them into a much bigger studio, and say that players should be ready for exciting new game announcements in the near future. This is a great thing because Paul Wedgwood and the team over at Splash Damage got some great investment, and they did turn that company into a pretty amazing studio in the UK. I had a chance to visit it a few years ago, and I had a great trip, great visit. So I'm super excited about this. But Flying Wild Hog is also no slouch. They've done some amazing stuff with their own engine and with their own technologies. Those Shadow Warrior games are pretty damn fun. So we should see some pretty cool games from these guys. And another independent game maker is getting a second chance and coming back for blood. California-based developer Turtle Rock Studios, which created the Left 4 Dead games and the sci-fi shooter Evolve, has announced their next game. It's called Back 4 Blood, and although no footage has been released, it's described as a co-op shooter where teams of players will fight against zombies. This sounds very similar to the Left 4 Dead games, although it's not being published by Left 4 Dead owner Valve, with Turtle Rock instead partnering with Warner Brothers Interactive. The studio took a hit after the failure of Evolve, which had its dedicated servers shut down last year, so hopefully Back 4 Blood will be a bigger success. I am excited to see Turtle Rock turn things around, and hopefully this game will be good. I am not excited about the fact that in their press release for this game, they had to kind of make a statement that we know the pressure's on us and it's all about us and we've got to come through and we have to make a game that matters. And I don't like that developers have to feel that much pressure when they're just trying to create some cool things for us. I don't know how you create under that kind of pressure. My heart goes out to them because I just want them to turn that ship around and make something really solid. And my heart was also broken when Evolve didn't work and all those people got laid off, and I had friends that actually worked over there. So hopefully things can turn around for the studio and the game will be solid and they can exhale. All right, you guys, that's going to do it for our rundown today. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back again tomorrow with a brand new rundown for you, and we're going to play a little Carmen Sandiego, and you're going to figure out where I am. I'm not going to tell you, but definitely come back for that. Definitely catch up on all the fun stuff that we've been making. I had a great interview with Brooke Burgess yesterday on EP Live. Would love for you to watch that and comment below and let us know what you think. Remember, you can always join us for EP Lives. The next one that we're going to have is on March 25th, and it's going to be at 4:30 p.m. Pacific time right here at the VFS Cafe at 390 West Hastings in Vancouver. If you can't make it down, we'll see you in the stream. Thanks for watching, everybody. Play forever.